Are you in there, Sam?
Johnny, a Chinese-like social credit scoring system. Yeah, what do you reckon? A social credit scoring system, Johnny, like they reportedly do in China? Oh, it'd be terrible if that came in here, Johnny. Well, I think it's inevitable that we'll end up with one. Oh, Jesus.
Regardless of perspective, the social credit system stands as a stark embodiment of the state's power in the digital age. A power that extends its reach into every facet of life in China.
As I said before, Johnny, I think it's inevitable that we'll end up with one. That's because we've already got one. Yes, yeah. What do you mean? Yeah, we've already got a social credit system going here in Australia. And I'm sure in Canada, US and England and every other bloody country too. Ooh. Well, have you got some examples for the audience? Yeah, you go into you go into a big retailer and you say you want to buy this 37-inch bloody flat screen. Yeah. And you want it on credit. They're going to go through, they'll need your records and all that sort of stuff, what you've already got. It'll be kept somewhere. Someone will have it, they'll get it from the bank or whatever. Well, yeah. You just get it there, that's a social credit score. Yeah. Well, yeah. And what about if you go for a job, Johnny? When you go for a job these days, you got to give them a goddamn police report. But Johnny, that's short. Yeah, a police report that goes back, I don't know, probably goes back your whole bloody life. So, noting every indiscretion you've ever made, and there are people you hardly know are going to have a look at that, and they're going to judge you on whether they want to employ you, perhaps on something that you did bloody in 1979. But Johnny, that's surely needed, isn't it? God knows what some poor bastards who have spent a lot of time in jail, how they go about getting a job. I'm fucked if I know how they get a job. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's just a part of every job. You just get it there, and that's a social credit score. But Johnny, people don't want to employ some homicidal maniac, for God's sake. You do it with your driving points. You lose a certain amount, it's all kept score, and all your fines and all that sort of shit are kept there. That's a driving social credit score, whether you like it or not. But Johnny, just because these things are separate, Johnny, so-called separate, doesn't mean it can't all add up to one great big social credit score.
The system operates on an unprecedented scale. Imagine every major governmental department, from tax bureaus to police stations, pooling their data into a single, all-encompassing network. This network then feeds into an algorithm that assigns a score to every citizen and corporation in the country.
Well, that was a very enlightening but fucking boring piece of bloody television. Now, you might say, Johnny, that these are all just separate items and they all amount to doing some good in society and all that sort of bloody shit. But wait till you put it all together. If you put them all together, then you've got just like a Chinese bloody social credit score. Well, all that goes without saying, Johnny. That's why I'm not going to say anything about that. But governments and authorities can say, well, we don't have a social credit score system like that. That'd be terrible. We have no plans to bring that in, but in actual fact, we've all been gaslit, that's becoming a favourite bloody word of mine, we've all been gaslit into believing we don't have a social credit score. That's great, we don't want to end up like China.
Oh, break it up. I'm gonna lock it up. Have the ball tonight.
But in actual fact, just because they're all fragmented and all over the place, that doesn't mean we haven't got a score. It just means that it's not a score at the moment. And at the push of a couple of buttons, it can be all jammed together and to give you a very Chinese-like social credit bloody score.
The consequences of a low score are severe. Restricted access to travel, education, and even internet speeds. The technology driving this system is both sophisticated and intrusive. In urban centres, cameras equipped with facial recognition technology dot the landscape, capable of identifying and tracking individuals in real time. Coupled with AI and big data analytics, the system can predict behaviours, flag anomalies, and enforce conformity.
With increasing ability to monitor not only the actual attention patterns and behaviours of its citizens, but to predict those that are most likely, the persecution of even potential crime becomes ever more likely. If you have nothing to hide, "You will have nothing to fear" will be the slogan commandeered by those most likely to turn to surveillance to protect and control.
There's nothing sinister about it. It's just a way of keeping everything nice and controlled. Who doesn't want to be nicely controlled?